Everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. It's Browns Victory Monday. I'm your host, the Big and Furry Bovine. Joining me, well, we have a few people in here now, don't we? We've got David Talevsky, we got Bronk, and we got Derek Frisbee. So, three. Take the heat off Mr. Moohead here. So, it's Victory Monday. Really feels like it, doesn't it?
Nope.
But I will say this, and I want to point this out because I think it's important. What happened in yesterday's game, and I've already said that it wasn't fair to the Colts. I thought it was bad officiating, and it was the NFL flexing its gambling muscle, and I have a big problem, and I don't mince words when it comes to this kind of stuff. Hello to Double P. Hello to Tony the Calf. Hello to Amsterdam and to Christopher Milton Sr. Welcome to the chat room. And here's the thing that bothers me. I'm on here saying that the referees fucked this game up completely. And they did. They handed the Browns a win that the Browns really didn't deserve. All right. However, what if it's a team that it happens every week for, like the fucking Steelers? Yep. You cannot tell me that Kenny Pickett on that last on his quarterback sneak got anywhere near the line.
He didn't.
Wow. No, absolutely not. And I said that they were going to win this game, but are allowed to win the game. Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, we're not going to let them touch the ball again one more time, the Rams. Hell no. Steelers win. Steelers win. Woo. And I am so sick of seeing them on the end of every bad call that goes their way week after week, year after year.
It's not just that, but the NFL's pissed at the Rams for selling out for a Super Bowl.
Well, you know something? I'm not saying that the Rams played a good game, but what I'm saying is it should be a level playing field for everybody.
Correct.
And it was so obvious we could not move the ball consistently against the Rams. Excuse me, listen to me. We couldn't move the ball at all against the Colts consistently.
No.
And we would, and there were a couple of throws. There was the quick one in Njoku, and then the one over on the sidelines, but we couldn't piece two big plays together. And the whole game, there wasn't a single penalty called in their secondary. Not a single one. And they found the weak sister who had to play because their full-time guy got hurt. And that's who they picked on. And it is so disturbing to me. I don't consider that a win. I don't consider what the Steelers do wins. Yeah. I don't consider it a win. I consider it a gift.
Yeah. I mean, we have nothing to say because I think everybody agrees with you.
Hello from Slavic Village, my first live show. Hey, welcome Twizzstar.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has only been going on for like 18 years, but yeah, welcome to the new viewer.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Better late than never, right?
God bless you.
Yeah.
Who's the worst 4-2 team? Every year I come on, like it's October, November, and I say the Pittsburgh Steelers are like 9-3, and they're just absolutely awful. I mean, we're 4-2, they're 4-2, we're both awful. I mean, how does this happen?
It seems like the NFL just wants the AFC North to be a powerhouse conference. Because, I mean, Steelers got handed the game. We got handed the game. The Ravens, they took that game. So
yeah, they kicked ass. Yeah.
Well, but there's something that bothers me about that too.
Yeah.
And I just I should go over to the ESPN site and just look up this incredible quote. There's a quote that
How incredible is it?
I mean, it's the kind of thing that makes you shake your big cow head and say, I don't get it.
Well,
And I'm going to look at the recap and see if it has the quote.
well, while you're looking, again, I'm going to say the person that I never ever want to hear from again is Gene Steratore,
Oh, Jesus.
cringing away some horrible refereeing call. They put them on the spot. Go, what do you think of that pass interference there, Gene? I go, well, he was holding it, but you could say it might not have been a catchable ball and all that. And the poor fucker's got to lie to the 40 million people watching it and side with the referee call. It's just so cringing. It's just the worst
Dan
thing.
Campbell's
Glenn
comment,
Campbell. Glenn Campbell.
his comment after the game was, sometimes it's good to have a game like that where you get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's good. What a psycho.
What, you weren't ready to play?
Uh,
You just decided to make them look better? I don't trust anything anymore.
I disagree with this, Double P. I don't think the Seahawks are the worst 4-2 team. I think they're
Yeah, we're gonna
actually pretty
find out.
solid.
Yeah.
They're a solid team. The thing with them, Geno Smith doesn't get you in the end zone a lot. You know what I mean?
No,
His career is to move the ball, get you points, and their defense does the rest. It's a hard place to play in Seattle.
Oh God, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the history of that. And Geno is not a red zone quarterback.
Now, why the fuck did Indianapolis have the roof open? It's probably the most friendly away stadium you could ever possibly play a game in. And then they leave the roof open to even make it quieter. I mean, like I said yesterday, that would have been a riot if that ending had happened to Cleveland in Cleveland. The field would have gotten torn up. But meanwhile,
Bottlegate
Indianapolis
2.0.
fans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, go ahead.
Go, Derek.
Huh?
I wasn't
Tony,
saying
welcome to
anything.
the
It
show,
was-
Tony.
I think it was
Alright, guys.
David
How's
was
it
going
going?
to say something.
No, I was just.
So, if no one's going to talk,
Anyway.
I will. So,
Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're there, Tony.
unfortunately.
What's up, man?
I'm just. Hey, how's it going? I just think this is football in general, and it's starting
Yeah.
to feel like it's more scripted than Vince
WWE.
McMahon. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Vince
Money.
McMahon.
Like,
in it.
It's
WWE,
sports
man.
betting.
Did you
It's
guys
sports
see
betting. That's the
the-
cause of it.
Did you guys see the call in the Minnesota Iowa game on Saturday? That fucking blows my mind.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't
The,
see that.
they
Oh, I
called
did
it
not.
back.
Tell me about it.
What
Minnesota
happened?
Minnesota punts the ball with like a minute 30 up 12-10.
Okay.
Iowa punt returner points to a defender to block a guy, catches the ball, run it back for a touchdown.
Right.
They called that a fair catch.
Yep.
Cost Iowa the game.
And if you watch the replay and
Wow.
you slow
Even-
it down,
Yeah.
it's so clear that he didn't fair catch it. He's clearly pointing and he's essentially waving him off, saying, "Hey, don't-"
Even Dean Blandino, who's Fox's version of Gene Steratore,
Steratore. Oh, isn't that
was like,
horrible?
I don't
having to
know how in
listen-
the fuck you call this, and it's just like, what the fuck are we even doing here? Where's the consistency of refereeing? Where's
Oh,
anything
man.
anymore?
Man, these rules analyst guys, they don't get paid enough to lie on national TV. Steratore and Blandino and the other guy on ESPN or whatever.
Well,
Anyway, go ahead.
the fact of the matter is, CO Dead, talking about college football, we're not really talking about college
No.
football. We're talking
We're
about
talking about corruption.
Yeah, that's right. And
Yep.
you obviously wouldn't know about that because you probably gamble. But the fact of the matter is, there are a bunch of diseased people, and it's no different than taxation. Gambling is just another way to make money for a different
reason.
group of
For no
wrong people.
product.
It's
no
legalized
product.
money laundering. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And, We don't
I do
know
it too.
where it goes, who's doing it. We don't know anything except now it's completely legal. And it's no different than marijuana legalization that everyone said, okay, do that. It's a gateway drug. And then when the right hands are getting their hands on the money, it's time to legalize
it's all
it.
okay. It's all good. Yeah, now
So
we got
sick
our
of it.
cut.
So sick of this country. I don't need to talk about Israel and the the Arab nations. I don't need to do it. It's America I hate. I'm sorry. I'm not
corruption
in love with
everywhere.
this country. I'm
CO
not.
Dead. Oh my god.
It sucks. And the reason it sucks is that we have allowed people to manipulate us into fighting with one another. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer. And it's like, so you got the MAGA people and you got the left wing people, and argue.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, who's walking away with all the money?
Mhm.
I mean, we got a situation where people can't pay their rents, can't afford to live in the country. We have a generation of people who don't want to work. We have places that are looking for employees and can't find them.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know. The pandemic took the heart out of this country completely. What little heart was left, and believe me, there wasn't much.
Well, it took the
Before
common
that.
sense out of the country too. I mean, we've got people out here thinking that it's okay to exterminate the Jewish race. And I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to get really into it, but I mean, I just saw there was a protest in Minneapolis yesterday where they were waving the Hamas flag, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
What there is for
Are we bringing
every
back Hitler, fucking Germany, the fucking Gestapo's in Chicago, and all this other shit? Like, what the fuck?
if every force has a counter force, which appears to be the case in this country, and we're going to bring Hammer Time in real quick. Hi, Jim.
Hammer.
Jimbo.
Been
You
a
know-
while.
But for every force, there's a counter force, and there will be those people who are going to say Israel should just bomb them into oblivion and drop a nuclear bomb on them once and for all. And then, but the thing is that the Arabic community has a wedge into the communication system, and with social media giving anybody, literally any kook in the world, access to reaching millions of people. A concerted effort can get certain people thinking a certain way. I know that the born again Christian community supports Israel. I know that. And I know that God only knows the American Jews support Israel. What I don't understand is how there is a voice supporting, and who the voices are supporting the Arab community besides, Arabic Americans. Nobody wants to see somebody get blown up into oblivion. But what I don't understand is we were talking about bombing their fucking mosques not many years ago. I mean, it's just a fucked up situation. And where this all comes back to sports is we have leisure time and we watch sports, and some of us really get off on it. Some of us, we feel a sense of exhilaration to watch people do things that we're not capable of doing ourselves. I get
Or
that.
we just like pain.
Well, oh yeah, you want to cry in your beer or whatever it is, but it's getting harder and harder to watch it.
It is.
And it's all because it's not an honest level playing field. And they come up with headlines: who are the winners and the losers from the game? The losers were the Colts and the winners were the Browns. And individual players, we know who did well individually, but it doesn't really matter because it's a tainted win. It looks like a win on the schedule. We are, in fact, 4-2. And the reason I ask, why do I not feel exhilarated, is because I don't feel that we fairly won the game. And I'm sick of the press continuing to talk about Deshaun Watson and continuing to try to make plausible stories as to why he doesn't want to play. Now it's, are you at odds with the head coach? That kind of stuff. They're trying to trap him. It's like, so how did you feel about PJ Walker coming in there, Deshaun? Did you want to get out there and play? Or did you just want to sit there and let him play and let him take the hits? What is it, huh, Deshaun? I mean, this is so crappy. I mean, I don't even, and then to have to listen to Gwen Stefanski, all right? And if you weren't around for the postgame show, he is now, my name is for him is Gwen, okay? And the reason is every Monday he has a press conference, and I just say, don't speak. I'm sick of it. I mean, are we going to fire him? Has the this winning streak, 2-game winning streak, is that solidifying his position? Adult will always be adult. Don't speak, Gwen. You got nothing to say. You're a puppet on a string, Gwen. I got no respect for you because you sat there and you let ownership shit all over you. You went out on a limb and you said, he's going to play and this and that. And now it's like, we're back to the, no, I don't know. He's our starter. He's our leader. No. Nobody wants to talk about how the decision is made to put this man in the lineup when he obviously could not throw a forward pass.
We have a huge problem with this Deshaun situation because, I mean, you're alluding to it. It's coming from the top. Stefanski knows that Deshaun can't play. PJ Walker, as bad as he's been stat-wise in the last 2 games for the Browns, at least he can make the occasional play. Deshaun Watson can't do anything. The only thing that he could maybe do is take off with his legs, and he's not going to do that because he's not going to get hurt more. So
this is Jimmy Haslam saying, fuck you, I'm going to draft Johnny Manziel, whether you like it or not. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you're going to go along with it, and if you don't like it, you're out the fucking door.
That's the problem. Jimmy is saying, I mean, he knows the fans. There's a section of the fans that will praise Deshaun no matter what. There's a section that will hate him no matter what. And he knows that if this flops, it's going to be the end of the world as far as this organization. So he wants him out there. He's telling Stefanski, put him out there, and it's going to cost the Browns. If Deshaun Watson plays all of next week, it will cost the Browns a win. It's going to happen. Multiple turnovers, nothing offensively. It's just, the same thing over and over and over. And nobody wants to talk about it.
And you're saying because of the injured shoulder.
I'm saying it's because of multiple things. It's because of the injured shoulder, yes, but it's also Deshaun Watson is mentally dead. Nobody's talking about it. He has no confidence at all, which why would he? I mean, he's essentially being forced into a role that he can't perform at in any sense. So if you're Deshaun Watson and you're going out there as a starting quarterback, how are you supposed to read and diagnose defenses when you can't do it? You can't make a simple throw. He couldn't make a check down throw yesterday. How is he supposed to go out there and execute a game plan? It's not possible. And this is a season-long situation that we're dealing with here. And they're gonna keep trying to shove it under the rug, and they can't. And there's really nothing we can do about it. I don't have an answer.
No.
Your running back's out for the year.
And now your second running back has got an ankle injury, and we don't know how serious that, except he was walking out after the game in a boot. Now, Christopher Milton, this is a problem, all right? And Christopher's a great guy. You know, I'll take the win. How many times did the NFL do that to the Browns? So 2 wrongs make a right. That's basically, if we have to cheat to get a win, then we'll cheat to get a win. But let me remind you, Christopher Milton, in the game that matters the most, the Browns will get fucked. Okay? I mean, seriously, don't think for a minute that the person who is controlling all this it isn't going to just take a big dump on the city of Cleveland. They've done it for decades. We have footage of things that don't even make sense, penalties that were called, all kinds of crazy shit. The only play in history that was reviewed after we ran a play.
Yeah,
we've got a history of stuff that is just incomparable.
Incomprehensible.
The non-targeting call in the playoff game against Kansas City.
Yeah.
I still say that the Broncos missed that field goal. I'm just going back.
Carlos, that wasn't good. How do you miss that?
Raiders game a few years back.
Oh,
I mean,
years ago.
They will screw you. And they're not your friend. And you may take the win, but you know something, Christopher? I don't want to live in a country where I have to accept shit as it's doled out to me. I don't want that. You make your own breaks in this world. That's the way it should be. But when the thing is tilted one way or the other, and one party is just climbing uphill and can never get to the top, it's just not right.
It's corruption.
And that's what in every part of our society, politically, in sports, I can't begin to tell you in so many social ways, it is just, and we have extremists trying to run the country, trying to change the sensibilities of what made this country really great. And don't tell me, well, America was great like 8 years ago or 4 years ago because of an orange-haired guy. Don't tell me that shit. I know when the country went downhill.
Yeah.
I was living. Some of you weren't living. Just go past the 70s and go into the 80s and take a look at what happened over the course of the next 3 administrations.
Yeah,
Reagan twice, Bush once, and Clinton twice.
Clinton, yeah.
Take a look at that period of time and look at everything that has been consolidated into the hands of a few, and you would have my vision. And I'm sorry that you don't have my vision because you weren't alive and it's not your fault.
Yeah, I mean, just drive past Lordstown, Ohio once, or Flint, Michigan, or any place that had jobs in the 60s and doesn't have jobs anymore.
Detroit.
So,
Well, here's another thing that amazes me, folks. We watch the game. We have the best technology. We could see that Kenny Pickett missed the first down and they gave it to him, right? The other week, we got the first down and they literally bent the flag backwards as far. You remember that?
Yeah.
From last week? I mean, and pulled it as hard as they could. No, you're short. You're short. We've got eyes. The amazing thing is that we need more people who are willing to just say, look, this is not what I heard. This is what I saw. And here's the thing that bothers me about Deshaun Watson and the whole Cleveland Browns situation. He was taken out of the game and they said, oh, they said they got to do a concussion, protocol on him because, he laid down on the field and his head did hit the ground. I never thought for a minute that he had a concussion. Everybody's head hits the field. That is not the truth. And the hit, he wasn't hitting his shoulder. That's not the truth.
Good excuse to bench him.
The truth is he tried to break his fall with his right arm. And anybody with a brain who's watching this can see that the first thing that hit the ground was
his arm.
And before he hit the ground, take a look at what his arm did. And all right, we're talking about an injury that makes people hurt when they go like this, okay? Raising their arm. He flung his arm around like I'm arcing it now backwards and then twisted it and tried to catch himself on the ground to prevent himself. So he initiated the contact, just doing that little bit. I felt it right here. All right?
Yeah, you would too.
So here he is getting over a micro tears, and that jolt hits the field. The reason he was laying on his back is not because he had a concussion, God damn it. The reason he was is he thought it was over for him. He thought that he had re-injured the shoulder. He could have gotten to his feet, folks. He was exasperated. He was like, oh, God, look what happened to me. He comes off the field. They put PJ Walker in the game. They go, oh, by the way, Deshaun, go over to the blue tent because they're afraid you have a concussion. He gets checked. He doesn't have a concussion. We never see him again. But what we do see him on the sideline is not raising his arm. All right? So what we have is an injured player. And the injured player is being directed to play, and it's almost as if there's somehow that Jimmy Haslam is going to try to wheedle his way out of this $230 million thing.
Correct.
I don't know how. I don't know what the reason is for this, because you can't say that. I mean, why don't you just put him on the injured reserve? Why do you keep putting him out on the field? Why is the first thing out of Gwen's mouth in his press conference, don't speak? Why is the first thing out of his mouth?
Yeah,
like
no doubt.
No doubt at all.
He's our leader, and yeah, we intend on playing him next week. I mean, why are they doing this to him? I'm all for Watson taking the $230 million and laying down just to fuck Haslam. Because that's all Haslam knows, is that in this world, he who fucks better and harder wins. That's all he knows. He's a piece of shit. All of this stuff doesn't have to be happening. You just put the man on the IR and say, hey, you get your shit together 4 weeks. Come on back after 4 weeks.
Should have been done weeks ago. Should have been done. You had a bye week, and then you had the 49ers, and then you had a couple games here that should have been easier. Perfect time to put him on the IR, but now we're doing this waiting game, day-to-day bullshit, and it's not going to change. It's not going to change, because if he does go out there next week, like Stefanski's saying, the same thing's going to happen again. You're going to see PJ Walker, which, by the way, I think they should give DTR another shot. I don't know if that's controversial or not. But if you give
that's a hot take.
If you give DTR one more shot on a full week of preparation with a game plan surrounding him, he puts up a better performance than he did against the Ravens. That's all I'm going to say. All
right. And Wable here. This is what he's saying. Do they have the balls to get a quarterback in here, or they're going to go with fuck up and go with PJ Walker?
Well, the boys on ESPN this morning, Orlovsky and whoever else was on there, were saying Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is available. You can get Kirk.
Too much money.
It's available. I mean, all I know is, there's underneath it all, they're not looking hella good.
Yeah. Well, and let me point something out to you. And this is why it's like, then we get into the conversation. We need we need a veteran quarterback. And invariably, there will be a group of fans who have been shooting their mouth off about Baker Mayfield and how great he is. And, the fact that he lost to the fucking Falcons, folks. He couldn't get him into the end zone. He threw a fourth quarter interception, and the son of a bitch put up 13 points on the board. All right,
with no Bijan. Bijan, I'm not. Never mind. That pissed me off.
No,
don't bet on these games, Derek.
It wasn't betting. It's fantasy football.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
That is your fantasy tattoo,
That is your
not
fantasy.
mine.
That is your fantasy island.
Baker Mayfield was 27 of 42 for 275 yards, but the bottom line is he doesn't get the ball in the end zone. Has anybody noticed that? Does anybody realize that he's not big play Baker? And that no matter where he plays, it's the same fucking story over and over again. So we start getting into the conversation. Oh, we need a veteran quarterback. And people will start bringing this up. Let me bring this up too, while some of you assholes are thinking about it before it comes out of your mouths. Seattle beat Arizona because Joshua Dobbs could only put 10 points on the board.
Correct.
Okay? 19 of 33 for 146 yards, and all we hear is, oh, he's better than P.J. Walker. No, those are P.J. Walker numbers, you dumb fuck. He was sacked 4 times.
Yeah, that didn't look good on Red Zone. None of that did. No.
I mean, so Geno Smith did his 18 of 24 for 219 yards. He threw an interception, but he had 2 touchdowns. He was sacked twice.
All right, so we're going to look at this 12-pack.
I don't know what that was.
That was without DK Metcalf, by the way. He was out.
Yeah.
Is Metcalf due to be back?
He should be, yeah.
Well,
That's not good for us.
I don't know who Downs is, but he must have had a syndrome that got him open in this game.
Oh, I'm so glad you made that joke, because I made that joke during the game and I got yelled at.
There you have it.
I was
you know what I think we should do?
You're born at the wrong
all
time,
become
Derek.
left-wingers and call it up syndrome, because it's really a good thing.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Hey,
They're
it's
special.
an extra chromosome. What could be wrong? What could be bad about that?
We can't even call a spade in this country, and I don't mean it that way. We cannot call something for what it is. It's a horrible misfortune that a child would have to suffer from this, and the difficulty of parents and they love their child and they're trying to do everything they can, but the damn syndrome kills them before they're 30. So the child is going to die within the lifetime of the parents, all of this stuff. I don't know how Downs got open so many times, but nobody was paying attention to him.
Did you see him walk by the other players? He can't be more than 5. He's like Bronco height.
He's invisible.
He can't be more than 5'7.5". I'm telling you right now.
Hey, go back to the pre-draft shows. I was saying the Browns need to look at him.
Like 5'7" with cleats on.
What's it matter whether we've got Donovan Peoples-Jones? What do we need a downfield passing game for? And anyway, what's the point if all Goodwin could do is just run straight down the field? Have you ever seen him run a pattern? Have you ever seen him run a pattern?
He's old Anthony Schwartz.
We had that guy. We cut him.
He's just better Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah. He's not a guy. Run him around on an end around. Doo-dah. I mean, and this is, this is Gwen's offense. Yeah, give Gwen Kirk Cousins. Go ahead and spend more of Jim's money. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. I mean, and you're not going to get anything at quarterback now. You're not gonna get it. And you know what the thing is? Yeah, if you brought Kirk Cousins in, you want to know what's funny? He wouldn't want to come here. That'd be the first thing. And the second thing would be, he knows this offense because nothing's changed from when he ran it. This is Gwen's offense. Everybody knows what he's going to do before he does it. So why wouldn't Cousins come in and know how to run it? Everybody knows what he's going to do.
Correct.
Comes back to what I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying him and Jacoby. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks right now.
It comes back to what I said yesterday. When we know what's going to happen, and we are not professionals at this. You don't think the professional people know what's going to happen? The
Yep.
ones that do this for a living, they're going to know what's going on. They know what the play call is. They know there's no, everything is built around Nick Chubb, who's no longer there. Because the end arounds and the play actions and all those things, that's all put together for Nick Chubb. I don't know what the heck, he's going to, what, I don't know what they can do at this point.
We don't use the middle of the field. It's wide open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And the pass that got thrown to Donovan Peoples-Jones at the end of the game, where there were 4 linebackers standing behind Donovan Peoples-Jones. They let him catch the ball, and Donovan Peoples-Jones just fell on the ground. He won't return punts either.
That punt that he had miles, even Spiro Ditas or somebody said he had a lot of room to run there, and he just kind of skipped out of bounds or whatever it was he did.
But the one thing I can say, the guy was with Spiro, who is Archuleta. Yeah, he said the middle's been wide open all game.
Correct.
And it's like, there it is. Yeah, but we obviously don't. We're not running. We don't run plays that way, and if you watch this offense that when you power the ball consistently and get those 4th and 1s, that Gwen is just a moment away from doing the backward pitch.
From the trick play. Yep, the trick play backward pass.
Now, here's PJ Walker, okay? And this is why PJ Walker can't be quarterback of this team. This is right after the game, okay? Right after the game. So this is not like looking back at this 10 years from now. This was right after the game. Talk about that last drive, PJ. What was your mindset? What was your feeling, and how great was that? This is a transcript. We just needed to get some points. We needed to get into the end zone. We were down by 5 points, I believe, or something like that. 6 points or something.
Oh, my gosh.
Whatever. We were down. But we stalled a few drives previous on offense. We didn't get the opportunity to get the ball in the end zone. Dustin did a hell of a job bailing us out time after time.
No shit.
I think as an offense, we knew we needed points. We knew we needed to score. And the guys around me made some big plays and some big moments. That's all that mattered. He didn't even know what... After the game, he couldn't even say we needed a touchdown to take the lead.
Leave him alone. I don't want to kid.
No!
Okay.
Counting is hard.
Yeah.
Counting is very hard.
It's hard. Yeah. Go. Yeah.
I don't know. I thought 5, 6. What's the point? I don't know.
It's like the Barbie that said math is hard.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Hey, did you guys notice yesterday, especially at the beginning of the game,
Probably.
the Colts defense, I don't know who their defensive coordinator is, but he stacked that box like we've seen for Nick Chubb.
Oh.
They had 9 guys up there. Derek, you're on that. They at least twice I said the same thing. They had 9 guys within a yard of the line of scrimmage.
They were not concerned about passing the ball at all, and that was even with Deshaun in. So I don't want to hear, it's PJ. No, they knew. Everybody knows.
All right, now William Solomon here. I really William Sullivan Jr. This is for you. Oh, you wish you was in the land of cotton, old time there, not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Yeah, Watson got paid and he doesn't want to play. You know something? That's stupid. He does want to play. The problem is he's hurt and he can't.
He can't fucking play.
So under your line of thinking, William, he went out on the field and said, I'm going to fake the injury by spiking a 4-yard pass to start out the game and underthrowing 2 balls and ending up getting 1 intercepted.
Picked off,
And
yeah.
then I'm going to fall to the ground and go, oh, my shoulder. And that's it. Great analysis, buddy. You just keep on. That's not an opinion. That's stupidity. Now, here's another thing. I'm sorry. It's nice of you to be here in the chat room. I shouldn't mistreat my viewers, but I'm a cow.
Welcome to
Hey,
Racist Pig.
Feeds you.
Cows don't have the common sense to know what to say and what not to say. I'm sure you're a lovely man, William. I'm sure that you're a wonderful man, a wonderful father, a great human being.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that. As far as DTR,
No.
DT. So why was it that everybody
is it?
had such a massive hard on for him in the preseason, and PJ Walker could go out in the field and do God knows what? I mean, you tell me he got bailed out of a fumble, right?
Yeah.
What
Oh,
was he
absolutely.
doing? I mean, what evasive quality would make him think that motoring straight backwards in the opposite direction to throw off his back foot when a man was on top of him wouldn't result in that?
Yeah.
You can't tell me the only difference between PJ Walker and DTR is that Walker has done this for 9 or 10 or 12 or whatever games, and that was DTR's first. But I mean, Jimmy Haslam, it's like, all right, here's the deal. Woo! We gonna give DTR a chance. Woo! All right. We give him a chance. And God only knows he wasn't prepared to play. I think that was pretty obvious. We put him in against a team where he looked bad,
God.
And Jimmy Haslam's out there going, woo! Get his dock skin off the field now. I've proven to all my brethren owners in the NFL that a black man can't play quarterback. Woo! And so nobody's even talking about DTR now. Nobody's even talking about him. It's like gone.
Yep.
It's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. What's a DTR? I don't know him. I mean, how do you go from being the guy that we got rid of Joshua Dobbs because we were so confident we had a good, bookend to Deshaun Watson that could run this newly prolific Gwen offense? And how could he just become persona non grata just like that? I mean, I've seen some of the worst quarterbacks come through Cleveland,
Oh, God.
and they got more than one chance.
Yeah.
Seneca Wallace, even.
Well, that's Bronk. When I say DTR and you say no, my reasoning here is the dude. I mean, you got to look at it, and I'm not just saying you. I'm saying just in general.
Oh,
You have to have an understanding of what's going on here. I mean, we're screwed at quarterback. I mean, we just are. Deshaun's not going to get any better. It's just not going to happen, and especially if they keep throwing him out there. So unless they go out and bring somebody new in, which still wouldn't be great, you got 2 guys. You got PJ and you got DTR. You've seen 2 games of PJ. You've won, yes, but that's not going to last. I'm not saying permanently, but for the love of God, if it's this game, if it's a Cardinals game, one of these teams you should beat, give him a week of preparation, game plan around him, and let him go try. It doesn't hurt to try.
Give him reps. Give him reps against maybe a little lesser of a team. God only knows they were all over him. And Jim, of course I know that the disease syndrome was named after a guy named Downs. You missed the point. We have a group of people in the country who can't say that bad news is bad news. We got to somehow turn a turd into a rose. And the child is suffering. The parents are suffering. And we got these goofy people who are on the other side saying, that's a very special child. Well, you take him and take care of him. You live through this every day of your life. Don't lecture me. God damn. Yeah, of course I know his last name was Downs.
So what you're saying, Derek, is they should go get Kellen Mond again.
Oh, I will shoot myself in the head.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh fuck.
No, I can't do it.
I mean, look at see every bad name you could come up with. Carson, worst teammate in America, Wentz.
Oof.
He came and went.
Where's Jeff George when you need him?
Yeah, right.
What's Patrick Fitzryan or Ryan Fitzpatrick or whatever the fuck his name is?
He's doing commercials for DraftKings.
Yeah, I don't
He's taking the
understand this.
gambling money.
How can Walker and Cooper not be on the same page? And the answer is, it ain't Cooper.
I feel so bad for Amari Cooper. He has been so good this year, and
Well, at least he got out of Dallas, though. So,
I mean, is it much better?
Ryan Leaf.
And there's so much of this that's true. When we start running east-west, it's 5-yard loss.
Oh, God.
I mean, we're at the point where aren't we supposed to be a zone read running offense? We're just supposed to be able to just that our offensive line gives holes and we go for them. And it's through the movement of coercion that we get lanes for running backs. I mean, why are we pitching the ball back like this to Kareem Hunt? I mean, that's like standing at the bottom of a hill that's going to have an avalanche. And it's like, all right, the play call is we're going to stand here and not run away from it. I mean, it's like an avalanche coming through every single time. I don't understand.
Well, how about at the end of the game, you're on the goal line and it takes you up until 4th down to run the ball once. I mean,
Well, you have no timeouts though.
yeah,
Better
but
than
I mean, this is the same team that has come up with so many different ways to run the football and has Nick Harris out there at fullback, and you don't try once. I mean, even if you get stuffed at the line, you don't try once before 4th down.
Well, everybody knew that the first 3 wasn't going to be a run call because we got Gwen on the sidelines, and and Jim, you're absolutely right about this. Absolutely right. I mean, their guy fair caught it on the 2-yard line. How did they get under that before?
Oh, that was a beautiful play, wasn't it? I mean,
I mean, obviously somebody was sleeping.
Oh, what about that amazing play where we get called for offensive lineman downfield, then they pick the flag up?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
when did we get that?
I gotta say the officials were not having the best of days. Okay.
Well, you know what I do every
Bring
time?
in Gene Steratore.
And you know what Gene Steratore says?
Yeah,
Like,
Dean
so there was a
Blanchard.
flag thrown on the play, Gene, and then they picked it up, and he goes, I mean, there's no explanation.
The perfect voice for Gene Steratore would be Dwayne Stat. You should do Dwayne Stat doing Gene Steratore.
Well, it would be bullshitting Dwayne Stat,
Yeah.
who says nothing. It would be like, well, I just saw a flag being thrown on the field, but it's possible that the guy saw a spot on the field that he felt needed to be covered. I mean, it can happen. And sometimes, like a hanky, you're walking down the street and your hanky falls out of your, if you have one of those things on your sport
And
coat.
your cap comes off and oh.
Yeah, that's what the thing that's amazing is. We have an idiot who knows nothing, who's paid by the gambling people and the establishment to explain why we can't believe what we're seeing with our eyes. That's what it comes down to. And even when he, and it's just like that. Gene Steratore is like, well, that really wasn't pass interference. It's like, and somebody
They
in New
shock
York
him.
shocks him, right?
They shock him
It's like a
that
fucking
Milgram
cattle prod,
test.
and He's like, he'll never say that again. Then it's like, well, I guess it was, I
Every
guess in
time-
hindsight, and I mean hind.
Every time Gene Steratore says something, they level the shock level in New York. So, like, first quarter, it's like, and then by the fourth quarter, it's he's like, oh, no. Oh, dear. Make it stop.
Yeah, and this is exactly right, Jim. And you're right on this. You're not supposed to catch a punt, but you're supposed to pretend like you're going to catch it.
Yeah.
Who just stands there and just walks off to the side and go, here you go.
Boop. That's amazing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Wable, we had a guy who could be a kick punt returner. He tore his ACL 8 years in a row.
Yeah, I
Oh,
yeah. Number one defense. And we would, but you know what's incredible? What's incredible about this is that the number one defense was totally lost with Joe Woods.
correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's incredible about it is the same cast of characters, mostly,
Yeah.
and they had
I'll agree.
different result. So, the number 32 pass offense, if we had a different cast of characters and a head coach who knew how to call plays, or an offensive coordinator who was allowed to call plays and design something based on what we have, there would be a chance. So, I don't know. And that's the thing. Amsterdam, Jim Schwartz can't get into the heads of people and prevent mistakes. Those were obvious mistakes. We haven't seen many of them this year, but I think trap games are trap games. Look at the NFL this week and look at Buffalo losing to New England.
Bills.
Yeah. There are trap games that you just, if you're not going in with, it's, 17 game season, right? And you look at the schedule and you go, oh, there's a win. They're 1-5. There's a win. And you don't get serious. The game gets close. Anything can happen. And this is the truth, too. Missing. DTR is missing.
Poor DTR.
I know.
You could have put him in against the 12th man in Seattle, where he won't be able to hear anything. He won't be able to hear the signals. He won't be able to. They won't hear him do the snap count. He's going to get killed if he plays. I don't want to see him die.
And I do still think that the Chargers Staley is going to be the first one fired. I do.
Yeah, they're fucked up too.
And
they would hire Stefanski after Staley.
It's him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to give flack to the people who want Flacco.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive, but you want to know what happens to him?
What?
You put him on a football field and pigeons shit on him.
That's good luck.
Until he plays the Cleveland Browns, then he turns into the Super Bowl MVP.
Good God Almighty.
I still have PTSD from that Jets game last year.
Somehow in all this, we're missing probably the biggest story in the NFL today.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce's diet includes this unexpected meal before every NFL game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just assume what you think it is, but it's actually French toast. It's not.
Really?
It's not T Swift. No.
I thought that they were going to tell him to slow down eating and to stop eating Swift.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, you know how you know if the NFL is rigged for sure? I mean, if you can't tell already.
Yeah.
If the Super Bowl this year is another KC Philly matchup, you know it's rigged because the Eagles have DeAndre Swift and Jason Kelce, and the Chiefs have Taylor and Travis. I mean, it's written already.
It's funny. Daniel Snyder may be gone, but the dream lives on. I mean, This is what happened. We had Randy Lerner, the autistic one, right? He turned
English.
Who was Aston? What the British footy team?
Aston Villa into a shit team.
Totally
now they're back in the
turfed it.
Premier League. Yep.
I mean,
He
this
ruined
guy
it.
was worse than Hurricane Katrina. I mean, he went to 2 continents and was.
Yeah, Aston Villa are now a good side again.
But the dream lives on after Randy because we get Jimmy. Okay. And if you think the Commanders are suddenly going to find their way out of this mess, the damage, when you fall that far behind, when you get to the point where it's like, woo, we got to Johnny Manziel. When you get to that point, it's over. Because that's 5 years. You've just fucked yourself out of 5 years. I mean, how often do you get, high draft picks, number 1 picks? You take a look at teams that fuck up and choose the wrong guy, and you look at the Jets and Woody Johnson. His Johnson isn't Woody at all.
No.
I mean, this is what you get. You make that decision. It's like, oh, we're going to bring this quarterback in, and he ends up, Zach Wilson. And then everyone said, oh, he bailed himself out. Praise Woody. He got Aaron Rodgers. Not so fast. No, here's what I don't understand, Wable. 1 week, Darden returns kicks and punts. What happened to him?
I don't know.
He looked like the only one. He actually shook and shimmied and tried to take the ball up the field. And he didn't fumble. He didn't do anything stupid. What happened to him?
I don't know.
He's been on and off of the injury report.
Was he injured last game?
I don't know if he was last game. I know over the course of the last few weeks, he's been dealing with something.
Oh, I just wondered where in the hell he was, because there's Donovan Peoples-Jones, standing there.
I got a question that Derek will probably know the answer to. What happened to our humongous 400-pound draft pick who always seems to be inactive every week? Is he still hurt, or that Shona Ika?
Who are you? Oh, Siaki Ika?
Yeah,
Yeah. I was wondering the same thing. He's still hurt.
Dead, huh?
Which I don't understand, because at the beginning of the year, when he was initially on the not IR but was not active for the games, I was told that he would be fine in a week or two, and here we are. I don't know.
Hey, look, it's Wiley Fox.
Wiley Fox. Oh my God!
How is life in Marietta? Life in Marietta. You cross over. And you're the only person who crosses over from Marietta into West Virginia and are dumber than the West Virginians. I love you, Wiley. I love you, Wiley.
I love you.
No, it's good to hear from you. A viewer from we've had our political fights on Twitter. God only knows.
Wow.
But he's good. You're a good fellow, Wiley. You know that.
Good for him.
You know
that
still
being alive. He's still alive. That's good.
Yeah, we like to hear from viewers who go back a long ways, and Wiley was from a different generation of Moohead viewers. And the truth is, either our viewers die, or they just wise up.
They find something better to do with their time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wiley Fox was sort of like the foghorn leghorn of the program.
Oh my God. I mean, and what else can I say? I'm thrilled with Dustin Hopkins. I'm thrilled. And what was the deal? Who was it who tweeted? He was a sports report guy from the Cleveland media who called him Dustin Hoffman.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
The remains of the day.
Who was that?
That's Labby.
Dan Labby.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to give a little pushback on this. I was listening to the post game show Moo yesterday, and you called Jerome Ford Harrison Ford. So I'm
Gerald
It-
Ford?
no Jerome Ford. You called him Harrison
Henry Ford.
I did not.
Yes,
You
you
did.
did.
Did I? Other
Yeah, you
other
did.
people on the panel?
Yeah. Let's do the
Oh,
progressive
no.
red flag chant. The red flags coming out.
Indiana Joe. Indiana Jones.
Hey, but I'm old. I got dead brain cells. I don't know what Dan Labby's thinking. How old is Dan Labby?
Who the fuck knows?
I thought he
to know
was
Anthony
old.
Hopkins, though. I can't even do it.
You know what's crazy? You guys know Doug Maurice? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know he goes
Yeah.
he goes to the gym where I go. I've seen him twice in about a year and a half. But the
Wow.
first time I saw him, I was like, why does he look so miserable? And then I was like, oh, I was like,
fuck
yeah, that's who he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm not joking either. That's not a joke. He just looks miserable every
miserable.
time I've seen him.
Well, when you're not allowed to write probably what you want to write, and you get told what to put in the newspaper.
I have a name for him.
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's
Les
Doug
Miserables.
Les Mis.
Les Mis.
Yeah, he is.
You're probably not the first person to ever say that to him, I would imagine.
Well, you know what's funny? I
Harrison Ford. I'm still laughing at myself. People must have been looking like this guy is
Harrison
going
Ford.
way beyond the time he should be broadcasting. You know.
well, the
That's
funny thing
embarrassing.
is,
Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
It did happen.
the funny
Well, I
thing
did
is,
fall
though-
asleep while I was getting a blowjob, so my
Yeah.
memory isn't that
Oh,
bad.
gosh.
Touche.
Every time that I've seen Doug, I've thought about going up and saying hi, and then every time I get to the point where I make my decision, I just go, "It's not worth it."
Oh, wow. That's really too bad.
I mean, would you go up if you saw Terry Pluto? Would you shake his hand?
Terry
No.
Pluto.
You would
I
hope he
am
wasn't
stuck
shaking
on
something else.
Band-Aid because Band-Aid stuck on me. No. No. It's like, I don't know where that hand. I do know where that hand's been. Oh, God. I mean, he's the only guy whose pages of the Old Testament stick together. And the New Testament.
Oh dear.
God almighty.
Oh,
Why Sundance? Wiley was asking about Sundance. And he's
Sundance,
saying
yeah,
that
I don't know.
he's surprised that you're still alive, Frank.
Yeah, I am too, quite frankly.
Sundance, Sundance, you better take care. You know, I think that he outlived Gordon Lightfoot. I bet he's still
Yeah, I think he
alive
did, yeah.
with emotional problems, but he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah, something about
Wow.
shooting ping pong balls. Remember when he
What?
told that story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some people. No, nobody was better than the guy who wrote plays.
Kevin Mack fan.
Kevin
Kevin
Mack.
Mack had on the fucking napkins.
Yeah.
He sent napkins to the Browns
To Berea.
organization with plays that he'd written on them. And he would call into the show and say, I'm sending them these things, and they're not responding. It's like, they're afraid. They're very, very scared.
They don't want. They got an exclusion zone around you, man.
It was the ketchup stains. They couldn't see who was who on the napkin. Oh, my God. Well, I'm done. I'm finished. You got 7 extra minutes out of me.
Can I make a request that we have a Jerry Springer homily to tie this all up together? You know, for us.
God,
So we
this
don't
has
jump
been
off
such-
the I-480 bridge.
I don't know what he would say about this program. I mean, I don't
That's what
know,
it is.
because you're talking about,
Corruption.
yeah, I know what it would be like. It would be like Jerry Springer saying, looking back on the last 67 minutes, and I'm sure as hell not going to take 67 more of these. It's like Noel Coward once said, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something to the effect of there's only one thing worse than being remembered for something bad, and that's not to be remembered at all. And if you're Deshaun Watson and you are being hounded and you're being remembered, how do you think that DTR feels that he's been totally forgotten and neglected?
Yeah.
And when we look at this in its entirety, we can honestly say that the pain and the shame of being canceled, as it's said in contemporary culture, is far worse than standing up in front of the press and having to answer for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Hey, hey, Moo, not to pull a Stephen Rose here, but one last thing before we go.
What, your dad's got a question?
No, I don't have one. But anyway, this comment from David. Did you see that Bernie Kosar was hanging out with Taylor Swift? How do you think that conversation went?
It's like, you're an actress, right? No, I'm a singer. It's like, you sell things? No, that's a machine. I have no idea what Bernie Kosar would say to Taylor Swift.
I just couldn't believe, because she was at the game in Kansas City. So was Bernie at the Kansas City game?
I don't know. I don't know this story.
He had on a very nice red like sweatshirt, but it didn't have any like team name on it. So
I don't know. Wow. I just saw Bernie was hanging out with Taylor Swift, and I thought, boy,
Bernie probably said to her, just breathe. And she said, no, that's Faith Hill. That's not me.
No, I think Bernie probably knows Taylor via his daughter.
Oh.
That was taking a while to sink in.
All right. Now you've gotten 11 minutes extra out of me. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. We'll be back again on Friday. We may be leaving Ohio in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Haven't yet made the decision. I hope that we will eventually make this decision based upon Rox's health, and we want to make sure that she's okay before we fly. We also have to get Topaz picked up.
He don't want to go.
I don't want to go on no transport. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you again on Friday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.
No.